The way someone carries themselves. That's the thing. The walk, the stance, those tiny, almost invisible movements that shout, "That's them," even across a crowded room. Even with the dim lights and the crowd milling around the Roosevelt Hotel lobby, the woman stopped me dead. It screamed, Lisa. My Lisa. The way she moved, the tilt of her head when she listened, those little nervous gestures with her hands. Familiar, too familiar, but it couldn't be. Lisa was home. We talked last night, nothing about going out, and the Roosevelt, Midtown Manhattan, miles from our place in Queens. Then I saw him, walking right beside her. Frank. My boss, Frank, from the Metro Driving Academy. Just the thought of them, here together like this, dropped a block of ice in my stomach. I was at the Roosevelt by pure chance. A last-minute change in the training schedule dumped me here. Otherwise, I'd be home, clueless. I tried calling Lisa earlier. Phone went straight to voicemail. Frank at the office, nothing. Typical New York reception, maybe. Still, I kept dialing. After I parked the car, I just sat there, staring at the hotel entrance. Was I losing it? Was this some crazy paranoia twisting my brain? Had to know. I moved, slipped closer to the doors, melted into the shadows, and peered inside. My breath caught. Lisa and Frank, right there in the lobby, suitcases at their feet, standing close, way too close. Then the hug, long, soft, intimate. Definitely not a boss and employee thing. Definitely not a wife and anyone else thing. My gut clenched. What the hell was going on? I stumbled back, brain spinning, thoughts crashing into each other, air stuck in my lungs as I sank onto the cold stone steps outside. Like a jigsaw puzzle, pieces scattered for months suddenly snapping into place. The weird schedule changes. Frank's sudden interest in my training routes. The shifts in my assignments. Subtle, gradual. Had it all been leading to this? The weight of it was crushing, suffocating. I needed to get it together, think. I went back to the car, parked it perfectly straight, driving instructor muscle memory kicking in even now. Slipped back inside, reception desk empty for a blessed minute. I knew Maria, the assistant manager, from previous training events. She greeted me, warm smile, small talk. Then I steered the conversation, casual, like it was nothing. Maria, quick question. Just curious. Any interesting guests checked in lately? Maria hesitated. A shadow flickered across her face. Couple checked in as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, she said, tilting her head, like she wasn't even convinced. They've been here before. 3 months ago, conference, separate rooms. Since then, maybe twice more. Always the same company card. 3 months. Right when I got reassigned to the Bronx training zone. Temporary, Frank had said. Just a rotation. Had he been making sure I was conveniently out of the picture? I needed to process, to think clearly. No confrontation, not yet. Evidence. I headed for the hotel bar, ordered a Budweiser, a pint, 10 in the morning. Who cared? Sat in silence, staring into the amber liquid, trying to piece together the shattered fragments. Lisa worked in admin at the driving school, schedules, payroll, benefits, mine included. Meticulous, organized, everything in its place. I'd always admired it, how she kept our life running smoothly. Looking back, had that same meticulousness been used to orchestrate this? Secret meetings, hidden rendezvous with Frank? Rage simmered, hot and corrosive, but I forced myself to think rationally. If this was what it looked like, exploding now could destroy everything. My job, maybe more. The kids were still in college, tuition bills looming. I needed a plan, a strategy. That evening, observation, not action. Hotel restaurant, familiar ground. Carlos, the head waiter, we'd become friendly over the years. Discreetly, a nod, a subtle point of the chin. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, table by the window, perfect view, tucked away, but visible. Vantage point, secured, unnoticed. Bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, their usual, Carlos remembered. Send it over, put it on my tab. Wine arrived. Lisa's reaction, instant, electric, stiffened. Eyes darted around the room, a nervous tremor in her hands. Good. She knew something was off. Frank, though, smooth as silk, barely blinked. Laugh, comment, poured them both a glass, all smiles. Jaw clenched, hands tight around my glass. Stay still. They talked, touched hands across the table, those small, intimate smiles that used to be just for me. Seeing them up close, like this, twisted the knife deeper, sharper. But stay calm. This wasn't some random encounter. They never expected me to be here. Call time. 7:30, 7:45, our nightly ritual. Slipped into the main lobby, phone in hand, dialed Lisa's number. Hidden behind a pillar, watching. She pulled out her phone, glanced at the screen, hesitated, then said something to Frank, excused herself, and walked towards a quieter corner of the lobby. Perfect. Headphones in, recording app on. No more games. If my gut was screaming the truth, I'd get the proof I needed, right here, right now. Ready to confront Lisa through the phone. Movement caught my eye. Young guy, sharp suit, filming everything. Subtle, but deliberate. Camera lingered too long, certain angles, certain people. Another guest, paparazzi, or something else, someone else, with their own reasons for being here. Pushed it aside. Moment of truth. Seconds away. Pressed the phone to my ear. Hey, Lisa. Voice steady, too steady maybe. Just wanted to let you know, plans changed. She was supposed to be home hours ago, right? Hey, she answered, voice off, tight. How's your day? Going okay? I said, listening, analyzing. Your voice sounds muffled. TV on? Oh, yeah, she said, too fast. Lowered the volume. You know, always something going on at home. Voice sounds different, I pressed, voice a little harder now. Different phone? Yeah, she said, breathy. Headphones. Recording a video call. For work. Video call? I echoed, raising an internal alarm. Yeah, you know you can do that? She rushed on. Too much information. What are you recording? She asked, a thread of panic in her voice. Guy filming everything in the hotel, I said, making it up as I went. Figured I'd capture that. Lisa glanced around, Eyes scanning the lobby, noticed the influencer guy who'd just walked into the restaurant, phone out, filming, expression unreadable but definitely tense. "Sure," she said, flat. Subject change. "You sure you're home? Background noise sounds different than the landline." "Yeah, landline," she confirmed, a little too quickly. "Tried calling it, no answer." "Garden," she offered, voice strained. "Probably in the garden. Sorry." "No worries," I said, voice still even, too even. "Busy time of year. Just relax, don't worry." "Don't worry," a phrase I never used, hung in the air like a threat. "Listen, change of plans, issues, can I call later?" "Sure, honey," she said, too sweet. "Just not too late, might be in bed." "Bed early?" I said, a sharper edge creeping in. "Anything interesting going on there? Maybe someone else in bed with you?" Tried to keep it light, a joke, but it landed heavy, toxic. "No, honey." Too fast again, too defensive. "You're the only one, you know that, no one else." "How do you know?" I pushed, voice dropping, dangerous. "Thought I was your first, your only." "Analogies again?" she said, a weak, pathetic attempt at humor. "Calmer this time," I said, voice barely a whisper. From my hidden spot, I could see her clearly now, face tight, eyes darting around, hesitation in every breath. "Okay," she breathed, voice trembling. "Analogies, sure, whatever." Forced a laugh, brittle and fake, and I hit end call. Lisa just sat there, phone clutched in her hand, staring at it like it was a snake, like she'd been slapped. Expected a goodbye, and "I love you," some kind of reassurance maybe. Nothing. Attention completely focused on her. Chance. I moved fast, quiet, behind her, hand on her shoulder. She whirled around, eyes wide, pupils blown, gasped, a strangled sound. Then, just like that, she folded, collapsed, crumpled to the floor, sudden, unexpected, like a puppet with cut strings. Hard fall, too hard. Rush to reception, adrenaline spiking. "Woman just fainted," I yelled, pointing back towards Lisa. "Don't want to touch her, you know, lawsuits, but she needs help now." Carlos, bless him, seen it all. Rushed over, scooped her up like she weighed nothing, carried her back to Frank's table. Back at reception, I casually gestured towards the influencer guy. "That guy filming?" I asked, trying to sound nonchalant. "Influencer," the receptionist sighed, rolling her eyes. "Yeah, documents, events, reviews, YouTube, TikTok, the whole deal." "Influencer, right. Free room, free food for exposure. Pathetic." Then it hit me, a cold, sharp thought. My phone. Still recording? Checked. Muted, thank God, but recording still running, capturing everything. Lisa was coming around, voice tight, panicked. "Tom's here." "Tom," Frank said, skeptical, leaning closer. "Tom's in Jersey." "I saw him. He touched me. On the shoulder. Phone call, then he was just there." Her voice rising, hysteria creeping in. "He can't find out about us, Frank!" "He'll kill me. He'll kill you." "Why would he just show up, then disappear?" Frank scoffed, still playing it cool, too cool. Damn it, Frank, Lisa hissed. Diane will find out. My life is over. Our lives are over. I'll call him, Frank said, reaching for his phone, ignoring the rising panic in Lisa's voice. Danger had a face, Frank. You'd be looking in a mirror, Lisa warned, voice trembling on the edge of breaking. Should have thought about that before you started all this, you idiot. He'll never know, Frank insisted, still dialing, arrogance dripping from every word. Who sent the wine? Lisa's voice sharp, accusing. Someone knows you're Schwarzkatz, Frank. Suspicion, thick and toxic, filled the air between them. Something's not right. Something's really wrong. Business meeting, Frank said, weak, desperate. Just say it's a business meeting, if he's even here, which he's not. Business meeting? Dressed like this? Lisa countered, gesturing to her own outfit. Too elegant, too much for a business meeting. And I told him I was home, Frank. Home! Okay, first-time mistake, Frank said, digging himself deeper. Nothing serious. He'll buy it. He won't believe that, Frank, Lisa snapped, voice rising again. Few times. Not our fault, Frank mumbled, pathetic, trying to minimize, to deflect. Few times. After that conference here, there were at least 3 times you coerced me, Frank. Coerced! Her voice broke, tears starting to spill. But you agreed, Frank cut in, dismissive, cruel. No, you drugged me, Frank. Drugged me and took those photos. Then the blackmail. Pictures of Tom and Maria, threatening to expose them if I didn't. But you enjoyed it, Frank pressed, voice low, suggestive, a predatory smirk playing on his lips. Distraction, Lisa spat, disgust twisting her face. While he was away. You were temporary, Frank, nothing more. You're nothing. Selfish, Lisa finished, voice laced with venom, raw fury bubbling to the surface. Frank smirked, a slow, confident, repulsive smirk. But you like it, don't you, Lisa? Deep down, you crave it. If I have to do it, I can enjoy it. Practice right. Maybe be as good as Tom. That was it. The line. Snapped. I stood up, thumb pressing hard on the recording pen in my pocket, walked towards their table, each step heavy, deliberate. Frank was redialing my number when I got there, oblivious, arrogant to the end. Before he could press call, my phone rang. Loud, jarring, echoing through the hushed restaurant. Every head turned. Lisa went white, eyes wide with terror, and fainted again, hitting the floor with a sickening thud. Frank just muttered, "Oh, damn," like she was an inconvenience, a spilled drink. I pulled out the chair opposite them, sat down. The silence, thick, heavy, suffocating. Let the moment hang. Let it sink in. Let them see the fear in my eyes, the rage simmering beneath the surface. Lisa came around slowly, blinked, focus returning, eyes landing on me. You think getting rid of me is easy? I said, voice quiet, controlled, deadly. You're wrong, Frank stammered, finally losing his cool. Tom, it's not what it looks like. Then what is it, Frank? I said, voice like chipped ice. A party? Celebrating a new contract? Is that it? I turned to Lisa, voice softening, laced with betrayal. Skeptical glare she shot at Frank screamed louder than any words. "What contract?" "I'll play along," I said to them both, voice dripping with sarcasm. "But why here, Lisa? Why not home, with your husband?" Voice steel, turning back to Frank, eyes locked on his, burning holes. "And what contract is this, Frank? Another excuse? Another excuse to be with my wife?" His face drained of all color, leaving him pale, sickly. Lisa sat frozen, guilt radiating off her in waves. Patience, finally, completely gone. "You set this up," I said, voice rising, shaking with fury. "You orchestrated all of this, Frank." So I'd be gone 3 nights a week, exhausted, overworked, while you two... Voice cracked, raw emotion breaking through. "Behind my back, in my bed, with my wife." Louder now, voice echoing through the stunned silence of the restaurant. "You despicable bastard. Just wait until Diane hears about this, Frank. Just wait." Head waiter, Carlos, rushed over again, face etched with concern but also a hint of morbid curiosity. "Sir, please, sir, refrain from causing a scene." Took a deep breath, forcing myself to calm down, to rein in the raging beast inside. "You're right, Carlos. Sorry. My apologies. Just some of your guests seem to be enjoying themselves at my expense." Noticed Carlos was recording everything on his phone, a knowing smirk playing on his lips. "Call it family drama, Carlos. Fits better, don't you think?" Snapped a quick photo of Frank and Lisa, side by side, faces frozen in guilt and terror. "Another one for the collection." Mark took a long, shaky breath, trying to steady himself as he pushed open the kitchen door. The air in the small kitchen was thick, heavy, charged with unspoken tension, like a storm about to erupt. Sarah stood by the counter, back to him, face carefully hidden, but he could feel the chill radiating from her. Neutral was the mask she was wearing, but he knew her too well. Months, weeks, days, piecing together the fragments, the clues, preparing for this moment, this confrontation. "We need to talk," she said, voice low, softer than it had been in months, barely audible above the hum of the refrigerator. He placed his coffee mug on the table, the ceramic clinking softly against the wood, the only sound in the tense silence. Crossed his arms, waited. "Figured." "Go ahead." She hesitated, shifted uncomfortably, weight shifting from one foot to the other. "I've been thinking about us, Mark." Swallowed hard, voice catching. "I know things have been strange." "I haven't been fair to you, Mark. I know that." Another pause, heavy with unspoken words. "I want to make things right." "Make things right?" He arched an eyebrow, a cynical smile playing on his lips. "Make things right after months of cold shoulders, vague excuses, late nights, lies." Sarah swallowed again, Adam's apple bobbing in her throat. "I know I've made mistakes, Mark. Big mistakes." Voice trembling now, tears starting to well in her eyes. "But I still love you, Mark. I swear to God I do. I want us to work. I want to fix this." Mark's jaw tightened, a muscle twitching in his cheek. If she had said those words weeks ago, months ago even, they might have meant something, might have had the power to heal. But now he knew too much, had seen too much. Now it was just empty words, a desperate plea. "Interesting timing, Sarah," he said, voice flat, devoid of emotion. She frowned, confused, tears blurring her vision. "What's that supposed to mean, Mark?" "Mean." He reached into his inside jacket pocket, pulled out the crisp white envelope, the one he'd been carrying around for days, the one that felt like a lead weight in his chest. Divorce papers. Slid them across the table, the sound crisp and final in the quiet kitchen. Watched her face, watched the color drain away, watched her eyes widen in shock, then disbelief, then dawning horror. "I think you know exactly what I mean, Sarah." "You've been distant, Sarah. You stopped touching me, looking at me, talking to me like I even existed, like I mattered anymore. And when I finally found out why..." He let the sentence hang, unfinished, the unspoken accusation hanging heavy in the air. "Let's just say my patience ran out a long time ago." Her hands trembled violently as she reached out, picked up the envelope, fingers tracing the stark black lettering on the front. "Mark, please don't do this. We can fix it, Mark." "We can. I know we can." He let out a short, humorless chuckle, a sound devoid of any warmth or amusement. "Fix what, Sarah? Fix the marriage you walked away from months ago? Fix the love you threw away, piece by piece, for whatever or whoever has been keeping you occupied all this time?" Tears overflowed now, streaming down her face, mascara running in black streaks. "I was confused, Mark. I was lost." "Save it, Sarah," he interrupted, voice hard, final. "Save the excuses, save the tears. I deserve honesty, Sarah. At the very least, I deserve that much after everything." Shook his head slowly, sadly. "And since you weren't willing to give me honesty, I found the truth myself, Sarah. The hard way." His voice dropped, barely a whisper now, but each word cut like a knife. "You didn't just check out of our marriage, Sarah. You abandoned it. You left me standing here alone, wondering what the hell I did wrong. And now that I'm finally letting you go, finally saying enough is enough, suddenly you care. Suddenly you want to fix things." Sarah opened her mouth, choked on a sob, but no words came out. For the first time in months, maybe years, she looked truly lost, truly vulnerable, the carefully constructed mask finally shattered, revealing the raw pain beneath. But Mark had seen enough. He'd seen the lies, the deceit, the betrayal. He wasn't going to be swayed by tears that should have fallen long before today, tears that were too little, too late. He stood up, pushing his chair back from the table, the sound echoing in the small kitchen, a final punctuation mark on their shattered marriage. Decision final, irreversible. "This is me choosing myself, Sarah." Voice calm now, steady, resolute. "I hope you find whatever it is you were looking for, Sarah. Whatever you thought you were missing. But it won't be with me, and it won't be at my expense." As he walked away, leaving her standing there alone in the kitchen, clutching the divorce papers, he felt lighter than he had in months. years even, as if a massive weight had been lifted off his shoulders, a weight he hadn't even realized he was carrying until it was finally gone. For the first time in a long, long time, he felt free. "You'll do exactly what I say, Frank. Or I'll tell Diane everything. Everything about you two, and I mean everything." Voice cold, menacing, leaving no room for argument. "Tomorrow morning, Frank. First thing. You'll call Diane. Tell her I'm sick. And you'll be nearby, right? Just in case I need anything." A pause, heavy with unspoken threats, then a low, bitter chuckle. "Thanks for listening, Frank." The line went dead, leaving Frank staring at his phone, face pale, sweat beading on his forehead. The story wasn't over. Not even close. Things were just about to get a whole lot more complicated, a whole lot more dangerous. Stay tuned.